Olá, bom dia. Hello, good morning. So here we go with another episode of our series Uncut English. Today I want to share with you a message that I found on Pinterest the other day. It's like this. In Pinterest, they've got, you see, now I got a bit confused. Because when we talk about YouTube, we say on YouTube. Yeah, I think we say on. Whatever is on the internet, we say on. Anyway, I'm going to use the preposition on. It's just that when I think of one of these networks, or one of these apps, to me it's almost like the information is inside. But okay, so let's go with on. So I found this message on Pinterest. And I thought it was a great message because, first of all, we can apply to our lives, all of us, and it's about our dreams. And since when I created this channel here, this program, what I had in mind was to help people who want to improve their fluency, to become more fluent in English, and have this program as a source of perhaps inspiration, as a source of listening material and things like that. So I found this sentence, and I think this sentence, in a way, can be applied to the dream of acquiring the language. Okay, so this message that I found can very much be connected to the dream of becoming fluent in English, to the dream of acquiring this language. Well, it's a sentence, it's a message about dreams. And the message goes like this: dreams don't work unless you do. And then I thought about, first I thought it was a great message because I love the philosophical message there. It's a message of encouragement, I think. But then I thought, how can I link this to a subject that I would like to talk about in this program? So what I mean is this: a lot of times I come across people, because of my job, potential students who come to me and say, "Oh, Alfredo, I want to learn English. It's important to me. I really need it. But my past experience with the language has always been a frustrating one, for many reasons. One of them is that I don't like grammar. And I understand that, I get that. But I think that what happens is that in a lot of situations, I think people are presented, I think the English grammar is introduced to them in a kind of boring way. And I think that, just like with any subject, any subject can be introduced in a fun way and in a boring, in a boring, heavy way. So I think with grammar is the same thing. But I think that in order to convince someone that learning the structure of the language, in other words, grammar is the structure, that can be learned in a fun way. But I think that for people who have strong feelings against grammar or against the structure, you need to have a convincing argument. And that's what I would like to do today. I would like to propose an argument. And I hope this is going to be a convincing one to a lot of people here. So the message that I was talking about earlier from Pinterest is this: dreams don't work unless you do. So my point is, I think that for people who don't understand how auxiliary verbs work in English, I don't think you can understand this. Think about this. Look, dreams don't work. So, for people who are very practical, they think, oh, a dream is like a fantasy. Dreams don't work. They're just dreams, right? Okay. So, the message here, I think, is that dreams they don't come true. They don't become a reality. That's what this person is saying when they say dreams don't work. But then there's the second part, so with the word unless. So dreams don't work unless you do. Okay, but then we have do there. Unless you do. Unless you do something, right? So dreams don't work unless you do. But unless you do what? Of course, I mean, if you have some experience with the language, you might say, okay, so it's implicit that you have to do something to make your dreams come true, to make them work. That's a valid interpretation. But of course, there's a better one and a more accurate one, which is one of the uses for auxiliary verbs, besides helping you when you want to ask a question or when you want to make a negative statement. Because, for example, to ask a question, you start the question with the auxiliary verb. For example, do you work? And in the answer, you can say, yes, I do, or no, I don't. When you say, yes, I do, the auxiliary do is, in fact, replacing the verb. So when you say, yes, I do, actually what you're saying is, yes, I work. So the auxiliary do replaces the main verb. And that's exactly what's happening here in the sentence. Dreams don't work unless you do. You see, do is an auxiliary verb in this case. It's kind of a masquerade because this is not a question. This is not an answer to a question. This is not a negative statement. It's none of those classic situations in which you use an auxiliary verb like the auxiliary do. But it's there. It's, as I said, it's kind of masqueraded. It's there to replace the verb to work. So the message then is this: look, dreams don't work unless you work. So you have to work to make your dreams come true, to make them a reality. So what's my point? This is grammar. This is structure. And I don't think you can understand that unless you understand the power of auxiliary verbs and how they operate. I think that's the key point. You have to understand what they're for, how we use them, the different uses for auxiliary verbs, and how they operate. Because in a sentence like that, like I said, the auxiliary verb is there. But you have to have a good general understanding of how they work. Otherwise, you won't see that the auxiliary verb do, in this case, is there to replace the verb to work. And that's it. Dreams don't work unless you do. Dreams don't work unless you work. And that's the message. Well, I don't know about you, but I find this pretty cool. So that's why I decided to make this video. I hope you find this kind of tip useful and interesting. My name is Alfredo, and this is Uncut English. See you in our next episode. Bye for now.